me just wait a little bit. So, just got out of jail. I'm doing good, everybody. I'm doing good. I was unlawfully arrested for the 6th time about 24 hours ago, maybe a little bit more than 24 hours ago. What happened was a unhoused guy that we have had previous interactions with. He has come by for food and he has come by for drinks a couple times. He came by to City Hall. He said, "What's up to what?" Everything's all right. I'm just giving a little update on what happened. We are having a little bit of police interaction right now, but it looks like everybody's gonna clear out. So this unhoused guy comes. He stops by City Hall. He asks what happened to everything. We said the police took everything. He said something that was critical of the police. Then he went over across the street, and then shortly after that, he was arrested. We saw anybody getting arrested, so we went over to cop watch. We went over to make sure he was all right. The 911 dispatch center called the police on him for trespassing is his charge. I'm not sure what they actually called the police on him for, but the charge was trespassing. And we went over there protesting, the cop watching everything, make sure everything was all right. 7 squad cars pulled up to this, and they pulled up. These are all cops we've had interactions with before, whether that was Robert Weiss, whether that was the spotlight cop that comes through every night and trying to spotlight on us. All enemies from City Hall. Every cop that we've had a negative interaction with during this occupation, we was at the scene. So they ended up leaving. I walked around the building a little bit. Never did anything illegal or anything like that. And I'm walking back on the sidewalk. I cross the street. I'm walking back towards the sidewalk. And 2 cop cars pull up immediately. And they get out. They walk my direction. I'm not playing the siren no more. I'm not on the megaphone no more. I'm just walking back. And they tell me I'm under arrest. I ask for what. They don't say what. They don't give me no charges. They don't give me anything. Well, they put me on cuffs. They place me on the stairs. They take the megaphone, and they put me in the back of the squad car. But before they did that, they slammed me against the car door several times. They slammed my leg in the car door, and they had wrapped my mask around my neck to where I got burn marks. I don't know if you can see, but I got burn marks around my neck from them pulling my mask in a way to where it would almost choke me. Since then, after that, I was taken to City Market. There was 10 squad cars along with a paddy wagon there, and they read me my charges. Now, my charges at the time were disorderly conduct for allegedly pulling the door on the 911 dispatch center. I got arrested for allegedly pulling the door on the dispatch center. I just want to let that marinate for a second. That the cops pulled up however many cars deep for allegedly pulling the door on the dispatch center. After they arrest me and they slam me against the car door several times, they take me to City Market where we sat for about an hour. They read me my charges at a time. They're disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and obstruction. At some point, they take me out, they search me. Then Officer Barron is talking to I think he's a Sergeant Patterson, another cop who has came to City Hall and who has harassed us, and we've had a negative interaction. I told Officer Patterson that Officer Barron has threatened me with violence at least 2 other times, and he got to enact on his violence tonight. Officer Patterson didn't do anything about that. He just looked at me and laughed a little bit. He seemed to be happy with Officer Barron's actions tonight, or actions last night. At some point, Officer Barron, Officer Roman, one of the other arresting officers, are talking about my charges. And Officer Barron says, "I'll do what I have to do." And from there, I get another charge added for allegedly kicking his hand, which is a felony charge, something that I didn't do. And he also said I made a suicidal statement, which I never made. But that suicidal statement that he said that I made was that I was willing to die for the cause. I don't know how you feel about that, but I don't really think that's a suicidal statement, and I never made that statement to begin with. So I am currently due to his word that I said that statement, I was forced to go into the psych ward of the jail, and I was forced into a Ferguson suit. I had to stay in the psych ward and in that suit overnight, and I wasn't allowed out at all. The first time I was allowed out was the next day when I had court, and that's when they finally took me out of the Ferguson suit, and they allowed me to attend court via Zoom from the jail. And then from there, at my court date, they banned me from the 911 dispatch center. They banned me from City Hall, and I am not allowed to call 911 unless it is an emergency. I am banned from calling 911. I am banned from having any non-emergency contact with the Rockford Police Department. This is, I had a $2,500 bond put on me. That was a bail. They had to pay that amount just to get me out of jail. Luckily, we have an excellent relationship with the Chicago Bail Fund, and they were able to post that bond, and I got out maybe a couple hours ago, maybe an hour or two ago. So we currently have 4 political prisoners inside that jail right now. Terry Patterson, who was arrested sometime today around 2. I was able to talk to him with inside the jail. He's doing all right. He's in good spirits. He's, he's in jail, so he's not the best, but he's not roughed up or he's not down on himself or anything like that. We also have Denzel Duvan. I was also able to talk to him with inside the jail, and he was able to explain to me how he was beaten by Rockford Police Department officers, and he was able to give me detail of how that situation went down. Thank you, Patricia. I love you too. We also have Jordan Nelson. Jordan Nelson was arrested during City Market, and he has been given a $5,300 bond, as well as no bond warrant for another county. So we currently have 4 political prisoners, along with Tyrus Jones, the young man that was shot in the back on October 2nd, which sparked off the occupation at City Hall. I was able to talk to Terry. I was able to talk to Denzel. I know people have been in contact with Jordan, and I know Tyrus is able to call his family. Tyrus is able to call his family pretty regularly. Denzel said that he has received no medical treatment. He receives the only medical treatment he receives is ibuprofen. Sometimes his eyes are so big and swollen and bloody red. He has cuts all under his eyes, cuts all under his wrists. He's in really bad shape. He said his ribs are bruised, and they took him to the hospital right after it happened. And he was, they said he needed stitches, but instead of giving him stitches, they just glued the cut shut. And that was the last time he received actual medical attention besides ibuprofen. And sometimes this is not nothing abnormal with inside the jail. We've seen it with Tyrus. We've seen it with other protesters who have been arrested, that any violence, anything that's done to you by police, you don't get treated for those injuries. They just let you sit there, whether that's getting pepper sprayed in the face, or that's getting picked up and slammed on the sidewalk, or anything, really. You can have open wounds and they won't treat them. That's just typical with inside the jail. That's something that I've personally witnessed firsthand, and I've seen people go through. On August 7th, somebody was pepper sprayed directly in the eye, and the medical attention they received was they were allowed to go to the bathroom and wash out their own eye. The jail and the conditions inside the jail are absolutely horrific, and at every level. At every level, they're absolutely horrific. It's absolutely disgusting. Each conditions in there. I just wanted to give everyone a little update. I am banned from City Hall, so I cannot actually be at City Hall. I'm not at City Hall, but I am a good distance away from City Hall. It's still downtown. We're still gonna be outside. The occupation at City Hall will still continue. Not exactly sure which form it will continue, but we will be outside on day 101. Are they wearing masks? In the psych ward, you are only allowed to wear a mask when you are outside your cell, which I wasn't allowed to do. But some of them are just typical how it is out here. You know, I'd say like 70% of cops don't wear masks and 30% of them do. But the conditions, Denzel, he as beaten up as he is, as damaged, you know, he's in really bad physical shape, but he is in good spirits. He is, which is really amazing. He has court January 25th. I can't exactly say the time, but I'll post that shortly, that he has court January 25th, and we'll be in contact the same way it would happen with me. It is negligence. It is. The same way that happened with me, we're going to be in contact with the Chicago Bail Fund to get him out of jail as soon as we possibly can. He currently has a no bond, but as soon as that number gets posted out, we're going to get him out of jail as fast as we can. Same thing with Terry. Terry has court in courtroom B tomorrow at 1:30. And we're gonna, same situation. I'm not exactly sure how that situation went down. I was able to talk to him for a little bit while I was, before I got bonded out. He's doing all right. He said they didn't rough him up anymore this time, and which is always, you know, he's inside the jail, so that's never a good thing. But we've both been unlawfully and unjustly arrested 6 different times. And one more thing that I would like to touch on is at my court date, the state's attorney office said I was the most dangerous protester, the most violent protester. And I had to laugh at that. I'm not gonna lie. I laughed at that on the court day. I laughed because that's simply not true. I've never been a violent guy. I've um, never enacted any violence anywhere, let alone during a protest, during an arrest. I've always tried to maintain a calm self. But according to the state's attorney office, I am the most violent protester out there, which is really makes me laugh. Really, really makes me laugh. You see how they're trying to paint the picture to the public of how we're thugs and criminals, and that just is simply not true. All arrests have been unlawful, and if you mean violence, the only violence that I've participated in is when Carla Red beat my ass, is when they slammed me to the ground the third time I got arrested, is when they tried to choke me with my mask this last time, and they slammed me against a car door and slammed my foot in the door. That's the only violence I've had in my police interactions, is the violence that the police have enacted on me. But this is not, I would still like to, they love to lie. Yes, they do love to lie. I would still like to highlight the case of Denzel, as bad as I am right now, as bad as the things that have happened to me. Denzel is 10 times worse, and he's given no bond, which is absolutely illegal, unjust, any negative word that you can think about it. It's absolutely ridiculous. We are in contact with his family. His family is grateful to have the community's support, and the only violence is from police. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We've seen it throughout May 30th. The police enacted this violence, whether it was pulling people out of their cars and beating them, or slamming people to the ground, shooting people with pepper spray bullets. It's the police, and every one of these interactions that come through and start the violence and initiate the violence, and more often than not, it's the police who are able to beat people and brutalize people and unjustly, falsely, and unlawfully arrest people. So it's a brief little update on everything that's going on. Still walking around. Gotta be prepared at any second. But as far as medically and physically and mentally, I'm all good. We're gonna get Terry out tomorrow. We're gonna get Denzel out as fast as we can. And same thing with Jordan, and same thing with Tyrus. Day 101. We'll be outside for day 102. We'll be outside for day 150. We'll be outside for day 200. We'll still be outside. We're not going back into the house. Thank you for everyone for the support. We're not going nowhere. Thank you.